Yesterday I was cleaning out my pantry and I came across this bag of 3 wrinkled old apples. They look like they're almost gone, but I think I can still salvage them. This one is half rotted. We're gonna make a quarter batch of apple crisp because apple crisp will never fail. I'm gonna start off by making my sauce first, which takes some sugar. For thickener, we're gonna use cornstarch. Then we also need some cinnamon. I'm not gonna measure it. I always like to whisk those dry ingredients together a little bit before we add our water. And just a little fun fact, we used to eat apple crisp with milk and homemade bologna for supper. That was our whole supper. And yes, someday I will show you guys how to make that homemade bologna, but it takes a lot of equipment and fresh meat, which I don't have right now. We're gonna take this on the stove and bring it to a boil. You boil it until it's clear and thick. While that's boiling, we're gonna get our apples ready. I'm gonna start by peeling them first. And if you ever wonder why I use these odd little containers to put my peelings and stuff in, it's because it was already dirty and I don't wanna dirty another container with scraps. Once you have your apples all peeled, you need to cut them up. I'm just gonna cut them up into these little slices and then take the core out. And then you need to slice them. Turned out to be the perfect amount for a quarter batch. Now all we have left is to make our crumbs. We need some flour. And if you want, you can use all-purpose flour. That's what I'm gonna do today. But you can also use part wheat flour. That makes it crispier. Then we add brown sugar. We have our quick oats. I always use the organic stuff. For seasoning, we also put cinnamon in here and I'm not gonna measure it. And last, we add butter. If your butter is not very soft, you have to melt it because it needs to be pretty soft to be kneaded in here. And I always just use my hand because that's easier. Once you have that butter all worked in and it's nice and crumbly, we're gonna take our pan and put half of the crumbs in the bottom. And this is a quarter batch, which means we're gonna use a tiny little pan. I'm just using one of my little Corningware casseroles. Make sure you pack those crumbs in the bottom. Then we're gonna put our apples on top. And we take that cornstarch and cinnamon sauce and we just drizzle it over there. Are you ready to take the rest of your crumbs and sprinkle them over the top? Now we just put it in the oven to bake it, and I made this stuff so often when I was a little girl that I had the recipe memorized by the time I was 10 years old. I'm gonna leave that in.
No, you won't.
I will. I just got this out of the oven and it's best if you eat it hot, so I'm gonna take some out right away. Now we always ate ours with milk. We rarely ate it with ice cream because we didn't have a lot of ice cream growing up, but I'm gonna eat this with ice cream. This is what it looks like. Let's add some ice cream and let's take a bite and see if it's any good. Oh my gosh, it is delicious. This is such a fall treat. Now imagine if I would have thrown those apples away. That would have been very sad. I put this recipe in my Amish cookbook under apple crisp. It's on page 150. That cookbook is linked on my website, socialsbylavina.com, which I have on my profile over here. Or, depending what platform you're on, I did link it in the caption. Or you can just go to your browser app and type socialsbylavina.com into your search bar and my website will pop. There's a whole bunch of other recipes on there as well. A lot of them that would be really good for this fall. So if you want to try it out, go check it out. Enjoy.